be computed. Well, that's just a lag between that and live.
You know, man.
Yeah.
Make me a co-host.
You didn't know you sounded like that, didn't you? That's how you sound.
I didn't make that sound myself.
It's Jerry.
We're all set?
All set.
All right. I'd like to call the meeting of the annual meeting and a regular meeting of the Albany Water Board for January 23rd, 2026 at roughly 9:30. Call the meeting to order. All board members are present. I think I mentioned earlier that I wanted to acknowledge that James Frizell, a former board member, died last week. And really a shame.
You know when funeral services?
No, we don't know anything yet. We'll let you know if we do. I also want to welcome formally our newest board member, Mike Francini. Glad to have you here. Some of you may know, Mike used to be commissioner of the water department back in the dark ages of the late 1990s.
Many years ago.
The other thing he brings to the table, I'm not the only Harvard graduate here. Mike also attended Harvard, so I'm delighted with two of us now. We could, us against all of them.
Right.
That's the way it works. Secondly, I want to again acknowledge that our council has been made partner of her law firm, and it's just terrific.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to dispense with the reading of the minutes as submitted and have them approved by the board. If I could have a motion.
So
No move, second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Now, we have the public comment period, and Mr. Moore, why don't you come up and stand next to me and talk to us? Oh, before we have to go around the table. Come on up. And introduce ourselves for the Powell. I'm Chuck Houghton, chairman.
I'm Bill Conrad, consultant.
Rachel Johnson, Vice Chair.
Bill Suncolor, I'm the acting water commissioner.
Rebecca Calvin, Engineering Supervisor.
Justin Schubelbahn, Operations Manager.
Sarah Terrell, Human Resources Generalist.
Eric Liston, Chief Accountant.
Laura Belfeld, Council.
Steve Mercier, Marketing and Communications.
Chris Powers, Chief Fiscal Officer.
Mike Francini, Secretary.
Anthony Owens, Board Treasurer.
Aaron Williams, Project Coordinator.
We have two guests.
Kurt Moore.
Mr. Moore, thank you for waiting, dude. You're wonderful.
It's my pleasure. Good morning, everyone. Then if I can actually give you guys a brief caption in terms of who I am and why I'm voting. Again, my name is Kurt Moore. I represent the LLC for Carver Plant Nursery here in the city of Albany. We're located on between West Hill and Arbor Hill. Carver Plant Nursery, for those that are more familiar with George Washington Carver and his philosophies, one of them is that in terms of as far as us humans, we can actually heal ourselves using plants, and we can heal the environment using plants. The city of Albany, for me personally, is a dear place because I grew up here in Albany, moved away and came back, and actually did some service even with the water department on all the different facets of the line, you know what I'm saying, with AmeriCorps, when I was actually in college. So I have a vested interest, I'm saying, in what you guys are discussing, and I'm tickled to be able to sit here and actually listen attentively. But to get back on point, my issue is that I saw from so Carver Plant Nursery, we function as a bridge in the city of Albany. We're a for-profit entity, but when I say we function as a bridge, our goal is to actually partner with organizations, especially nonprofits, that is actually that their goals mirror ours. So for instance, in the city of Albany, what we want to do, we want to actually promote what the city of Albany has to offer. The city of Albany has one of the best composting systems that you'll find upstate New York. I mean, I know for a fact, I know because I actually have studied what the properties in it, the microbes that are in it. And it's like the mycorrhiza that is so active in the city compost beyond words. But a lot of the residents are not aware of it. So we want to promote it. We want to encourage other people who are residents to actually utilize it as much as possible. We want to actually create, so we function as a bridge. So we will partner with other non-for-profits, especially non-for-profits that are geared towards youth, where we can actually teach them sustainable urban agriculture. We want to partner with the Honest Way Food Co-op, where we can actually go with the stuff that we produce. We can actually have they have a teaching kitchen in the community room that we can actually have young people that are actually growing all throughout the city of Albany can actually then take the product that's produced, and we can actually cook it and invite the community at large to come and participate in it. The problem that I'm having is that I'm a single member LLC, and in the city of Albany, one of the most crippling factor is the fact that it was what I'm being paid, what I'm paying for water that I don't have. And when I reached out to the water department, I'm being told that I'm paying for the maintenance of the line that is running in front of the vacant building lots that I purchased. It's crazy because if you can actually imagine, it's costing me more per year, about $1,000 a year for maintenance of the line that runs in front of the property is what I'm being told, and it's much more than
How big is the property?
it's approximately it's two. It's about 800 in their feet. The frontage.
Where is it?
It's actually it's on 3rd Street between Thornton and Judson. So what if you can imagine what happened is as the city is tearing down these properties, I acquired them and mitigate whatever heavy metals that are there and make it to the point where it's usable for urban agriculture. Because you can't just tear down because Albany is such an old city that you have to imagine the amount of lead and heavy metal that's actually in the ground. So for instance, it's like, I'm not gonna use another chemical to actually get rid of another chemical. So what we do, we find stuff like, knotweed that we use as to actually pull up the stuff. We use comfrey to pull up those stuff. We use different herbs to actually address these issues. But my biggest issue, so along with the Department of General Service and the water department, I'm telling you, I've incurred so much money in terms of fines and overall expenses. The issue with the Department of General Service, they're not aware of what these things are. They think that it's just weeds that's growing, and they'll come and they will one day at one point they came and they cut down everything without even notifying me and then bill me. I'm like, it's that's another story. But essentially my issue is this. If I'm looking at and I noticed, let me see one second, please.
I'm not sure.
So we have a vacant lot change.
No.
Or by rate schedule, that's
I'm looking at the rates for vacant properties, and it's actually $3.63 per I'm assuming the frontage feet. But I mean, to be honest, I'm not saying that is unfair, but in terms of equity, and then when I look at equity, I'm thinking about equal access to resources. If I'm not getting anything for my money, right, I'm actually creating something that complements what you guys are doing.
Let me ask you a question. What are you gonna do with the vacant property?
Also, what
Will
I'm
you make it into a garden?
It's a garden. So Carver Plant Nursery, so that's gonna be the house of Carver Plant Nursery. The home, better yet. So what we wanna do, we wanna have a greenhouse. We wanna have an educational center, not necessarily
So
just,
then you use water.
oh, yes, but there's nothing there right now.
Yeah.
So what my intention is to do is to put a a hydrant on the property. But there was issues, I'm saying, with the property because the property was being graded. So I didn't want to put a hydrant in place, I'm saying, when I'm bringing in fill to grade the property. So now the property is graded. My intention this spring is to put a hydrant in and start.
One of these
cultivation.
mini hydrants.
Yes, and start cultivation.
Well, we supply some of those to community gardens.
Well, the community gardens for non-profits.
Can't you convert to a nonprofit?
You know, see, the thing is, my philosophy is that there's a lot of non-for-profit. I want to be a bridge. So I want to find non-for-profits who want a location. For instance, the city of Albany has summer youth employment program. I want to actually say, come to the city of Albany and say, hey, listen, you know what? I want to be able to actually assist, you know what I'm saying, with summer youth employment. So I want to actually take some of the burden off the city of Albany and say, hey, listen, you know, I have funding. Give us 10 of the young people that are interested in agriculture. And what we will do, we will actually not only just create a bridge with the city of Albany, but create a bridge with Cornell, Homeskill, and agricultural schools, you know what I'm saying, all throughout the Northeast. Because what we want to do, we want to actually encourage young people to divert their energy through plants. Because for me as an adult, I have a greater insight as a result of having more lived experience. Most young people, they have no insight, they have limited insight because they have limited life experience. So what I want to do, I want to use all the information and resources that we have, you know what I'm saying, at our disposal and actually help young people to make better decisions. And we want to actually so my goal is to bring all the young people, all from all the different parts of Albany, all the different parts of the capital district together, you know what I'm saying, using plants. For instance, it's like, just to give you a point.
Why would you go to being a community garden?
Well,
They
no.
provide that water for free.
Oh, no, because I'm not a community garden. So what it is, we want to partner with community gardens. So, but see, the thing is because it's like, it's a great area. For instance, I'm a for-profit entity. So what, in my model, 25% of the money generated goes towards education for young people. So if a young person want to go to school for agriculture, we want to be able to say, hey, we can give you an educational award and you come back and you're a mentor. So the model is in itself is not a community garden model. So I don't want to venture into a community garden model because then it becomes problematic. You know, the government.
You make it hard for us then, because you can't change the rule.
But no, well, my question is this, is like, you know, I, in my honest opinion, city rules and regulation are not necessarily a shackle. There's room, it's flexible, I'm assuming. So
Not really.
yeah, that's probably wishful thinking, right? So
I mean, we have to be fair to
Right.
everybody.
right, oh, definitely. But my thing is this: it's like, you know, if I'm actually paying approximately $1,000 a year for service that I'm not receiving, how is that fair to me? That's the question.
Because eventually you're gonna put up a greenhouse and you're gonna put up a hydrant and you're gonna need that water line there.
Oh no,
And
this
if we took that out,
well, you don't want to get crazy. This is where it gets crazy because I have to pay for tapping into the water line.
yeah,
I have to pay for the hydrant. So I'm paying. So when that time comes, I'm actually paying for that service. So I'm saying that right now.
could you make, and we better get on with our meeting, but we'll sign somebody to come back and talk.
Right.
Because you've got a legitimate, I mean, what you're trying to do is fabulous.
Right.
But maybe you could think about creating, I don't know, knowing none of the facts, I can speak freely. Create a subunit, it's a community garden. And then you could get free water. Think about it.
Oh no, definitely. No, but I don't want to be under false pretense.
That's not false. A lot of people are doing it. But let us get back to the
Yeah,
meeting
definitely.
and we'll assign somebody to get back. to you.
Definitely.
We've got your contact information.
Yes.
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
And thank you for what you're doing. Sounds
sir.
terrific.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Now we have the good part of the meeting, the staff reports. Justin, you're up.
I'm I'll have a quick report because I know this meeting's going along. I have some numbers from last year that I just want to go over. So year to date, 2025, we repaired 102 main breaks. And that's actually double what we did in 2024. So I tried to look at why that was, and that's because January and February of last year, we had 47 main breaks, just in those 2 months.
Yeah.
January was 23, contrary to this year, we only had 10 in January, so we must have had a bad winter last year. Hopefully, the numbers show that this winter won't be so bad. But last year.
You're saying that on the wrong day.
Last year we had double the main breaks that we had the previous year, so. We had a 10% increase in service replacements. We did 260 in-house with our own staff. It's a 10% increase from 2024. Which helps contribute to our goal of 1,000, the rest being done with the contracted services. We flushed about 10% of our hydrants last year. We usually aim for more than that, but we moved some of that staff to leak detection, which is why I think that number dropped from what we usually prefer to get. We try to do all the hydrants within 4 years, so we try to do 25%, but we only did 10% last year, so I'll have to look at how we can establish our staff and resources to change that for next year.
everyone.
We had a 20% increase in sewer camera footage this year. That's probably due to our equipment being repaired and actually functional. We had a long period in 2024 where our camera was down. We did have a decrease in preventative maintenance sewer cleaning. That's due to us losing 4 staff members last year, 2 to retirement, 1 resigned and 1 took a job in a different unit. We're still trying to fill those positions now. We have 2 vacancies still. We dropped from about 60 miles down to about 46 miles of pipe clean last year because of that. Other than that, we had almost doubled our catch basin cleaning last year. That's also due to the fact, I think, that we got our rental truck. Getting that rental truck was a huge benefit to us for consistent functional operation of that unit. So our truck that we had was breaking down nonstop, so getting that rental was a huge benefit to us. So we're looking to increase those numbers even more. That is one of my operators I lost, but we should be able to up that this year as well. And that is my update.
Any questions? Comments?
Just a quick question. The service line replacements, are they from the meter to the main?
So we only do, the ones we do in-house are main to curb stop.
Main
But we are only doing the ones where the curb stop to the meter are already copper.
Okay.
So we're basically, for all intents and purposes, that's taking that off our lab program, it's all copper.
Right.
So we're getting all what we consider low hanging fruit. We went through and do a lot of streets where usually around the 60s, 70s, the main was lead, but the houses were built with copper. So we replace all those, we go up and down the block and just do them, pop them out in a row. With our forces, it's a good bang for our buck. We get a lot done up there,
Yeah.
so.
Thank you.
And it gets them off our inventory with no copper.
Yeah.
Rachel?
I'm up.
I mean, Rebecca. So,
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that. No, Rachel, Rebecca, I know, like, it's okay.
No, you're an engineer.
My sister's name was Rachel, so it works.
you have a sister named Rachel, don't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a common pairing in families. So cap projects, still up at Pure Bush with 3 projects. Aeration's winding down. We're in our final punch list for that. Line of maintenance building, final coatings and kind of putting in the last of the electrical plumbing systems. And then so we're hoping, I think it's around March that we're hoping we're gonna have line of maintenance kind of up and running finally. And then fluoride is kicking along. They're looking to start coatings. They're doing the exterior brick right now. The current startup date looks to be March 19th, I think is what Joe DiGiovine was working off of. That's based off of the current contractor schedule, plus some time for us to get all of our ducks in a row with startup, DOH, testing. We're keeping up with the schedule with the contractor, make sure there's no shifts. So fingers crossed on that. CIPP lining, we're on pause right now, but we're gonna get 2024 contract completed starting in March. I know it seems weird, but that one got kind of waylaid a bit with different things going on with our staff. And then, McLeod's gonna be working on a 2026 contract, because we do have funding to keep going with sewer lining. And we're a little behind because we skipped 25. So we'll be putting that bid together for this summer, doing that work. We're doing final design for PRV power, work. That's been kind of in the books, ready to go for a bit. Stormwater for this year. We have quite a few, we have 3 projects that probably will go out to bid. Hopefully going to EFC for review, that's packet, stormwater improvements, North Hawk and Orange. Because we cannot work, some of that work will be down by Park Playhouse. So we cannot touch that area anytime in the summertime. It'll probably even be a challenge in the winter time, but we're gonna figure it out. We've got I'm sure Bill will talk about that. We got some funding for the dams. We're in final design on the Rensselaer and Rensselaer/6 Mile and Basic Creek dams. Trying to tee up some.
And aren't there timeframes for those grants? We have to spend the money, what, 2 years?
No, we think we have longer time.
We have longer?
Longer time than that, but
And
but there will be,
about a year before we can really.
yeah, so depending on when they get done and when the permitting gets done. And we've been able on those every QIPs, if we need to extend those and contract dates. And we know these things will be kind of weather dependent, we get some nice dry weather, it'll help, like, you got to count.
And you're gonna apply for more grants for the dam project, I hope.
Well, we're going to apply, but we're still needed to discuss going forward with asking to go ahead with the financing with EFC because now that we have $5 million in grants, we want to get that money.
So there's some water and sewer work that I think is kind of a little further out that we'll be looking at this year. And then finally, lead service line replacement. Today, the winter 2026 bid will be awarded to Newcastle. That will cover the bulk of the city's street paving contracts for the year. So that gets us ahead of them so that when they go to do street paving, we should be finishing up lead service line replacement. We will definitely have completed streets where they can just hit the ground paving. So we don't have, last year it was a little tough when we did them all in the paving contract because that kind of waylaid them for about a month on even starting paving because we had to get the lead service lines done. Contract 1 and contract 2 for them are shifting a little bit. They've pulled some streets. We're working with them on that. We may still go forward with the monies we have to try and get more streets done on our end, because if we don't, we're gonna be less than our desired, target for the year. So we're talking about that. They haven't even given me really their final cuts yet. They're still kind of kicking them around. We're probably gonna pull Orange Street because we're gonna cause a delay with our project there. So we're working pretty closely with city engineering. They've still been really forthcoming with us. We have bi-weekly meetings with them. So that's been really helpful from that end. Central Ave East is looming in the distance. They hoped for that to be in the fall. That is Central Ave from where it meets at, is that Townsend Park? At Townsend Park, all the way to South Allen, or to North Allen Street. So there's a long stretch of lead service line replacements and variable types of properties. So we are working, they have CHA as their consultant for their side. So we are also working with CHA with the more water centric folks.
Mike would know
get ready.
that's a tip project, so it's
Yeah,
Ah,
that isn't Central Ave, we do not want to do a lot of digging too far ahead of them because it's going to be a traffic nightmare for the city. It's going to be, so the more we can collaborate with them, I think the better for everybody involved. And then we will be exploring, knowing that the contract 1 and 2 might be pulled a little bit. I am gonna try to work with BGS on their micro paving list to see if we can tackle a couple of those streets before they micro pave. That's a process that they do. They were just really, did not give us nearly enough time, any time last year to get ahead of them. So I'm gonna try to work with them to get that as possibilities for additional lead service line replacement. Our in-house forces are finishing one of the contract streets. So that's great. Anytime we can get ahead of them with our own forces is actually better for us because, we have the force account. So we actually take in money for our forces performing that work. And so we'll be, if that PPST, which is micropaving, that micropaving list gives me some options, we'll start talking to operations to see what streets become the high target ones. We are potholing a few streets as well. Working with, we'll be on prioritizing that list as well. So that's the inventory side. And the last thing I have to do is kind of work on how we spend down the inventory part of the grant. You know, there are streets that we would like to target that are unknowns, but likely copper, because that actually helps pull those streets out of our notification lists, out of the realm of us having to tell them they're unknown, not really know, and then the list of unknowns comes down, which reduces what we have to replace. So.
Are you getting pretty good response from the mailings?
So the mailings about unknown services and lead services went out early this year. You get mixed results. You get people that are confused, people that are angry. So
I've gotten.
it's a little tricky. We're actually gonna be, Thomas, the new project manager, and I are working on the frequently asked questions section of the website. So that, it doesn't, when we get into service replacements here with winter bid, he's gonna get a lot busier and those calls become a bit of a burden. I'd like to be able to send people to the website and get a lot of questions answered. We'll still answer calls, of course, but if we can, have people just read and inform themselves, that'd be really helpful for us.
Will that help the ladies out front too? Can they?
It should, I hope. I hope that what it is if they answer, we can answer the question with potentially sending them to the website with a good frequently asked questions sheet. They are very repetitive questions, and so. I think that's it.
Morning, good.
Oh, Lincoln Park Garden Yard, thank you, sorry about that. The building is coming in the spring. I don't know if we have a specific date. I haven't heard one from Lisa. I'll have to ask her. So hopefully by mid to late spring, we will be finishing that up completely and then opening, doing an opening ceremony for that. I don't know if they had more plantings left to do, but most of the site work is completed. It's the building that was delayed. So installing that in the winter, it had a lead time for manufacturing, so. And, yeah, that's it.
Any questions? I want to also thank you to and Chris and Steve for your work on the long range plans and the 1-page plan and all the change. They've been working as a committee with Joe D, and it's really been effective. We're going to talk about it at the governor's meeting next month. That's on the agenda. We just had too much this month to do, so don't do it. All right. You're welcome to stay. We love having you here, or if you have to go back to work, go ahead.
I saw you put those slides up. I was supposed to do a safety update as well. Can you show those slides real quick? I'll just do it. With Joe gone, I've been heading our safety committee. Last year compared to 2024, we actually had less incident reports. But more that required medical treatment and more with lost time. I think what that shows is that we've been knocking out the small injuries. We still have some big issues to deal with. And slowly we'll hopefully get there and figure that out. But I think 58, most of those days were 1 or 2 injuries, correct?
Mostly driven by 2 people.
2 people, yeah. We've seen a lot less of the very long injuries though. I mean, we used to have hundreds of days of time lost, and that's kind of gone now. We added a lot of staff to the safety committee at the end of last year, and they've been bringing some great ideas. We're gonna be coming out with some new policies this year. It's great seeing fresh faces in that meeting, and you guys will be updated on those policies as we implement them. But I'm looking forward to this year with the new staff that was hired and filling the roles. We have about 4 or 5 new people on that committee, so with a vast experience in safety, careers, so I'm looking forward to it.
We want to mention, how things are going with union.
The negotiations. Sure. We are still in mediation, and we're still in mediation with the contract. No end in current site. Our next meeting's in February. I believe it's February 16th or 14th. It's gotta be 16th. And hopefully that will be our last one. We're close. I think we're close. There's some issues on both sides that just gotta finally get hashed out, but I think we're pretty close to a agreement there. So I'm hoping that that contract is settled in February.
Does that go retroactive to the first of the year?
To be determined. I mean, it
To be
technically should be the first of last year. They've been out of contract since the end of 24.
Right.
I think that all depends on where we land with numbers and how the city wants to do that. I'm sure that's gonna be decided, that will have to be decided, bro. As of right now, I think the expectation is retro to the beginning of last year. But, we'll see where the numbers land and how that falls. It's been a long process. It's been too long a process, in my opinion. But yeah,
Can I ask you a personal question?
sure.
How's Katie doing? How's the
She's
new job?
doing great. She loves it. Yeah. She's down to Windsor today, actually. They got her going all over the place, but a little more travel, but yeah, she loves it.
Okay.
She's working on a whole bunch of different stuff, so it's a little different, and she's adjusting pretty well.
How long was it, sir?
I will. Thank you.
All right. Bill Kahn. You want to keep it short? You dazzled us earlier.
I have nothing to report outside of what was presented at the Finance Committee.
Rachel?
All right, the summary of the governance committee meeting this morning is that the board voted to recommend revision to the senior discount policy. That's up for voting later today. And we will meet again in February and again in March. Continue to work a few of our processes, policies, and the strategy North Stars discussion in February as well. End of report.
Anthony?
Okay, the meeting of the finance committee was called to order at 8:50 a.m. All board or committee members were present, as well as appropriate staff. The minutes were approved as presented. Chris Powers gave an excellent job on our monthly financial statements ending 12/31/25. In regards to ERP, great progress on the billing process. Bill Kahn, he spoke about our summary budget and transfer schedule. In regards to the tax rollover, he recommends that the Albany Water Board reduce the amount paid to the city by $400,000 per month, so that the Albany Water Board can improve its cash flow. And then a recommendation was approved to submit a resolution 2303 to the board to approve the 2026 budget summary and transfer document. There was no new business, no reason to enter into executive session. Our next meeting is Friday, April 24, 2026 at 8:30 a.m. And the meeting was adjourned at 9:28.
Thank you. Bill? Bill?
It's my turn.
Your turn.
I just want to mention one thing that I don't see on the agenda. We do have a thing we're going to do in executive session.
Sure.
In there too. If I don't see a fan, but we will. So I think if I can do co-host. Figure out.
Maybe some of this is gonna be repeat, because this is what Bill showed the mayor yesterday. and her staff.
Am I doing it? Bigger or is that, that's it? So, yesterday we had the mayor and the deputy mayor, Chris Ellis and, the mayor's chief of staff, Mr. Littlejohn and John Riley, who's the policy, mayor's new policy person, all came and visited us. And we had senior staff and, I was, just trying to go over a few things to introduce new people to this system. One of the things I mentioned was the things that are on the wall in this room that we may or may not remember or even hear, like this giant diorama used to hang in City Hall, but it was back in the day when Rensselaer Lake was actually being used for the system and Tivoli Lakes were still used for the system. That was when the water system back in the 1850s became municipal system using the Patroon Creek. That didn't last too long before you get to the next picture on the wall, which had us pumping the water out of the Hudson River out at what was the pump station in Quackenbush.
Yeah.
And pumping up to Bleecker Reservoir, which is now Bleecker Stadium. That was 1875 through a copper screen. There's a step that doesn't show on the walls where there was a water treatment plant built around 1900 that was in the location where the Department of General Services is located. Slow sand plant that went through some modifications over the years. They pumped over to the Quackenbush so it could get pumped up the hill to Bleecker Stadium. The next picture on the wall is 1935. At that point, we had the new system with the alcove and Basic Creek Reservoir. We see two Loudonville basins because in 1935, there was just the A and B basin. C basin was built later in the WPA in Franklin Delano Roosevelt's time. So that system that we use now goes back 100 years, 1926. Our engineering guy, Nicholas Hill, did an engineering study for
Great study.
Mayor Hackett. And it went forward during the time that Franklin Delano Roosevelt was president or governor of the state of New York. And that system we're using today, it's gone through some renovations. We make repairs, but on the screen is actually some where we are right now. And although this shows us as a schematic, it's actually live data. Like if you look at the water treatment plant, it's changed because this is actually picking up from our SCADA system.
Can you do full screen years?
I don't know.
This is live.
I don't know if I can change the setting here in Zoom.
Okay.
Anyway, it's showing we've got 13 billion gallons of water stored, Alcove Reservoir, Basic Creek Reservoir. That's enough for a couple of years of city use. The safe yield of that source is 28 million gallons a day. We've got a water treatment plant. It's got 8 filters rated at 4 million gallons a day. We could potentially do 32 million gallons a day. Right now, we're doing 14. That's the live number right now. Coming into the city, we've got a meter at Albany Court, which is over by Harry Myers. Over by Whitehall Road. We're showing 14 coming into the city. Most of the city is served off Loudonville Reservoir. We've got 200 million gallons of water in three uncovered basins at Loudonville. When we take water out of those basins, it goes through a UV system. We've got 4 UV units, each rated for 10 MGD, so we could potentially do 40 MGD. Usually there's not that much water going through the UV system. But if we had to shut down the treatment plant and when we had to shut down the transmission main, all the water from the city would be coming from Loudonville Reservoir. Out in the western part of the city, we've got a pump station at Colvin Avenue. So west of Colvin Avenue, it's going to that pump station. We've got a tank now on Harriman campus. We've got Pine Bush Pump Station is over by Fuller Road, over by 6 Mile Waterworks. That pumps water out to the Washington tank. And our biggest customer, SUNY Polytech, Red Creates, they served on that system. Plus, we have service to Gilderland, we have a connection to the town colony. So just this week, we provided 3 million gallons to the town colony to help them out through their problem. Boil water system. So we got a connection to the town colony at New Carter Road, and we got a connection to the town colony at Bobville Reservoir. And we've benefited from those interconnections, and they've benefited too. So that was one of the things that I just wanted to kind of show people. One thing that this is a SharePoint site for our watershed group. We've got about 6,500 acres of land. That's the watershed properties. And we have a group of people that maintain the watershed, take samples, working woodlands program. The easements, we have conservation easement with Longcuts and Land Conservancy. That's quite an operation. Now Justin has a SharePoint site for our field operations, and you can see what's up to date in terms of those things. So he uses SharePoint, and we also use, I guess I have to refresh this. Also, we use a program called Utility Cloud, which is used for all the work orders and investigations and reports. What this report is, dashboard is showing our water main repairs, water main breaks between January 2025 to 2026. And if I change the time scale on this and go back to I guess I have to read up this thing. So we've been tracking, using this since 2019, and you can see the baseline. But the spikes tend to be January's. But the thing is, I guess when Justin, you could talk about this too, that we had a system, now we have GIS, we've got all of our assets, we have identification, facility ID numbers, we're tracking what we do with repairs. All of it's on this utility cloud database when inquiries come in about where we've had investigations or repairs, or it's all kept track of through utility cloud.
Yeah, so we use Utility Cloud to track all of our work in the field. This dashboard just allows us to take that data and filter it into something meaningful. This is actually the dashboard I use to get all my annual numbers for you guys. It's very easy to look at. We have different screens for sewer, different screens for water, different screens for our pump stations, different screens for all of it. You can filter it by staff member who did the report, by unit, by restoration. There's numerous, anything that we put in a report, you can filter it by. It's actually a very useful tool for us for analyzing all of our work. SharePoint, when Bill showed that is a new tool we started using. Basically, it's just a file sharing system through Microsoft. I love it. I built this from scratch, and we have all of our internal data on here. It's basically an internal site for all of our staff to see everything that we have going on. We can keep our reports on there. We can keep our excavation calendar on there, our foreman on-call calendar, our overtime lists, all that stuff is on there with links to all of our sites as well. So it's actually been a very useful tool. Now, whenever a foreman after something, I just say check points. Amazing. I can update it all in real time. I can make a change on it right now on my phone, and it'll change on Bill's screen. So it's a very useful tool for us. So.
The other thing that Justin and Mike Rudy have been involved in this leak detection with 64 seconds. And this is a website for 64 seconds if you want to.
Sure. So 64 Seconds is a company who installs leak detection units out on our hydrants. So it's basically constant monitoring of our system. The white circles up there are all the hydrants that have sensors installed. The blue circles are hydrants that don't quite yet have it. We have about a third of the city by mile of pipe covered. This allows our leak detection in the past has been a manual process. We used to go out every night and have to do block by block readings. This allows us to basically monitor everything covered at the same time. All we have to do is go out and drive the route and pick up the data from the sensors, and it gives us all of it on this dashboard. It tells us where there's a leak, and then we can investigate the leaks. To date, we've only been using this for about a year. We have about 800 sensors out there currently. And we've detected over 100 leaks and repaired probably over 60 to 70 of them. So it's been a very useful tool for us for tackling our unaccounted for water.
A week ago, tomorrow, I saw this in action. They found a leak on Lancaster Street right in front of my house. And you couldn't, there was no water in the street, nothing. They figured out there was a leak. Then they had to move all the cars, bring in the equipment, and it turned out it was a service line to the house across the street from us, and they were able to fix it.
Yeah, it's
And
very
worked in the
useful for
bitter
getting
cold.
all the
Cold.
small leaks we can't see.
Yeah.
It's very beneficial to that.
Does it actually target down to like a block where the leak is?
So it'll tell you which hydrant hears a noise, and
Okay.
we have to go out and then do a manual correlation to get the
Okay.
exact location. But when you look at, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, Bill. And the sensors are constantly being updated, so some of them haven't been read in several months, so some of the leaks are gone. But there's a lot of, usually I turn off some stuff. When you zoom in, it shows you a circle around each sensor. A green circle means no leak detected. Red circle is found a leak, and you can actually listen to the correlation right on here.
Okay.
Then you can hear what it sounds like. It tells you the frequency spectrum, so which helps us determine if it's a service or a main. And it's a very useful tool.
In regards to water main breaks, we got some cold days coming up. I'm scared, but what's the temperature that scares you?
So it's interesting. It's usually not a temperature because it's frost gets set in the ground and starting in December.
Okay.
It really matters how thick the frost gets. Once the frost starts forming, and it gets 3-4 feet deep, it starts pushing on the dirt more and falls down breaks. Our big thing this weekend is gonna be frozen services, frozen meters in basements. Once we get to single digits and negative temperatures, a lot of people don't realize it'll freeze their services in the basement if they don't have proper protection. So we're preparing for that. Snow usually helps. It actually insulates the ground. It's a huge factor in that. But yeah, we tend to find that most of our busy season is seasonal from middle of December to about middle of February. That's pretty bad, and that's just based on frost and ground shifting. Pretty consistently.
I guess the other thing I wanted to show, and we showed you the
Thank you.
yesterday, was in regard to our SCADA system. Now, this is a screen showing the flow going to the Albany County South Plant right now. So you see, like, you see the numbers changing because this is live. The inflow flow and the effluent flow are a little bit varied because this is a activated sludge plant. So there's some return sludge. We pay on the amount that goes out the effluent. So what goes through the effluent flow out to the river, we pay what leaves the South Plant to go into the Hudson. So we're monitoring that, and that gate position 45. So when there's a storm, they have to throttle that gate at the front end of the South Plant to keep it from being overwhelmed with water. That's why it backs up water, and we end up overflowing at our regulating chambers. So we can see when they're throttling and correlate that with what we need to do. And this screen is Beaver Creek, the satellite treatment facility where we do our screening and disinfection. This is what Justin and Stephen and Nick are operating there in Lincoln Park. Right now, we're not really doing any screening and so forth. And we have an operational season that goes from May to October. So we're not actually required to disinfect during this time. If we had a rainstorm right now, we'd have to screen. Our speedies permit says we have to screen. We are in the process, although it hasn't really happened yet, of putting heat into the area of the inflow, because it wasn't part of the original design to have it heat, but it was part of the original design to have like 5 air changes an hour in that area, which
That's a problem.
which means it's as cold as outside.
It actually messes with the hydraulics of the screen, and the screen takes a little bit of time to warm up, so during a screening event, they're not fully ready to start.
Yeah, and that,
In the winter, we don't get a lot of screening events in winter.
the heat is, heater being manufactured.
Um,
Of course,
But besides those facilities, we have like 30 sewage pumping stations. One of the uses of the money we have in the collection system project is to get more of the sewage pumping stations to be on the SCADA system, more of the alarms on that. We've got 5 other floatable control facilities off of Broadway, Maple Lane, Steuben Street, Orange, Quackenbush, and Livingston. They're all things that are operating the system. And besides that, didn't bring up the screen. We have this Opti system that we have water under our control, stormwater, including Washington Park Lake under our control for stormwater management. So these are the things that just to introduce to the mayor. I guess the other thing I wanted to bring up is the mayor's going to be doing state of the city, and was looking for some bullet points on projects that we're doing. And that's I think maybe you have a copy of that. Right, the Beaver Creek or the Basic Creek, just had the announcement, just got letters with the award of the W2IP grant, so mentioned that. Rensselaer Lake the same. Thurlow Terrace. It was mentioned that Rebecca mentioned that sewer collection. I don't know how to get rid of that. I actually showed on my screen. On yours.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, but the financing we just closed on $18 million of project cost, $8 million of grant, and $10 million of financing. The Thurlow Terrace, we're talking about $3.5 million of some project costs with $1.8 million of interest-free financing. Yeah, the $10 million on the sewer collection is also interest-free financing. Water main, we've got a whole list of water mains to be replaced. Plus, we're gonna do more of the 64 seconds purchase. And some other water system improvements with that $7.6 million. Lead service line, as Rebecca was saying, we've gotten $15 million so far, which is really all grant. We've applied to the intended use for thing with the New York State Environmental Facilities for another $15 million. So we think we're gonna run out after Central Avenue East, right?
I think Central Ave East will probably extend it. What point in Central Ave East, I'm a little unsure of right now. We did, I will say last year's, I did some numbers for last year's replacements, 2025, summer of 2025, contract 1, contract 2, Manning and Central West. And most of those projects came in at about 65 to 70% of what we estimated them at. And basically what happens is we do unit pricing for every service line we do, unit pricing for restoration. And that just means we overestimated those units, like how many square feet of restoration we did, which is fine. That's probably a good way to do it. But so I have to kind of reconcile those final numbers and kind of see where we're at. We have plenty for winter 2026. Seems we have plenty for contract 1 and contract 2 from a funding perspective. Central Ave East is very hard to estimate right now, and we will not have a ton of money left when that gets underway if we don't get
But that's expected
grants and
to,
finances.
that's expected to go to bid in third quarter or something.
Probably, yes, late third quarter, early fourth quarter. So,
So we don't really, think we have full construction.
Next year.
although we're first in the construction order of operations, so.
And then fluoridation, we tried fluoridation gallo, construction as that general contract and, we're expecting, do that now. It's a question that's come up. We have a startup plan, Joe DiGiovanni, made a startup plan that we've submitted to Albany County Health Department. And we're going to get something out soon in regard to that. Health Department came back and told us, hey, looks like a good plan, but we're gonna start slowly. First, we're gonna test out our system with water to make sure it works and doesn't leak. Then we're gonna be starting at a lower dose than we're expecting to get to. We're actually gonna be feeding the fluoride not at the entry point, like at the end of the clearing well. We're gonna be feeding it with the fluosilicic acid into the channel between the mixing basins and the sedimentation basins. And then we're gonna have an analyzer at the inflow to the filters, so we can see what fluoride goes with it. Then we're also gonna have an analyzer after the filters. So, and the operators really wanted to do this so that if we did have some problem regulating the metering of it, that we would have time to make adjustments through our treatment plant in Fierbush before something is going out into the system. And so we're going to start this process. We're going to see how long it takes when we first start to get the fluoride to be getting through the filters and then through the clear well and then to Whitehall Road. And once we've established that the lower dose that we're seeing it coming into the city, we're also then going to see how long it takes to get out to the ends of the city. So it's going to be a bit of a process. We're going to start as soon as we see it getting into the city, so start ramping up to get to the dose of 0.7 milligrams per liter. That's going to be our target. But we think that it's going to take a while to do, and we're going to post the results that we're seeing out in the system so that doctors and dentists and people that are interested in recommendations can understand and see the data is really good.
Do you really think you're gonna lose concentration in the city between Whitehall and the end?
Well, we're just not gonna assume anything.
Okay.
We're gonna monitor.
Just one.
Because we use lime as our corrosion control and we raise the pH up to 9.2, there's a lot of lime in the water. And we want to see what
The effect is.
yeah, then how long it takes but yeah, folks are, concerned that we have the right doses and folks are concerned that they know what the level of fluoride is. And we want to let everybody, health department, customers, anybody know what's going on.
The protesters, the mayor told us the protesters have given up on us and they're now starting to protest her. Fluoride.
Really? We
Is this
tried
supposed to be now?
when I was commissioner.
Did more than
It's
that?
probably
We did, we tried, but it was too political. We couldn't do it.
And that's my report.
You've got a whole list on the second page. Packet. Carbon transportation. Budget.
Oh, you mean I'm
Bethlehem.
on the agenda here with one?
You're really on the agenda, Bill.
Oh, okay, packet seeker, I think the board has gotten, we've done. We've done a neg deck previously, the amendment is because we got more grant money for this, we extended to do some more work. Between when we left off up to Forest, including storage in front of Albany Academy. And so, because we have different disturbance than previously, we needed to amend that, and secret review and make that, that's what that's about. The mini forest was just a notice that DOT sent that, I guess because we're an adjacent property at 35 Erie Boulevard, they're gonna put a forest in, that they were noticing, providing notice as adjacent property owner. The budget performance report, I think Chris kind of mentioned it previously, it's just that, I guess the intention is each month that we'd see what comes right off the ERP as update, that shows line by line what the budgets are and where we are in terms of what's been encumbered, what's been spent. So I want to do that. Then Bethlehem purchase agreement, we want to talk about in the executive session. Status of ongoing projects you've already heard, and grants and financing you've heard.
Any questions, comments? Oh, it's a lot quicker than that.
No, yes. Thank you.
A good time.
I do. I enjoy this meeting.
Fully kidding.
Our finance committee went over this like
All right, Laura, you're up.
Another meeting.
Oh, no. For pleasure.
Bill and I have been busy. Very busy. My first agenda item is in regard to first prize development, which if you don't know, it's a large scale mixed use community center that's being developed, and its property is so unique that it spans both town of Colony and city of Albany. Right now, we are tasked with coming up with a utility intermunicipal agreement with town of Colony, which has really been in the works for quite some time. Bill providing me feedback on that, and right now I'd like to chat with Corporation Council. I mean, they're not on the latest draft. This is not a party signature party of the latest draft, and I want to talk to him a little bit about that. About maybe why not. So thank you, Bill, for your feedback, and it's on me to chat with Corporation Council.
Yeah, I think there's it's sort of like the franchise area. We're serving some customers in their area. They're serving some customers in ours. Their Latham Water District is providing the water for that and doing the sewer. Actually, the infrastructure and the site is all going to be private.
Okay.
So they're going to feed these, Latham Water District's going to feed through a couple of master meters. And we're proposing to have meters in each building that are going to be our meters, water meters to read to bill for the sewer side. And it all goes to a pipe that goes underneath the railroad. Station that is the first prize metering station. It's kind of a unique thing. I think we talked about what kind of an agreement we needed with the developer.
Right.
But there also was some agreement between the town and the water board.
Right. So there are a couple of moving pieces there, but we're gonna nail that down in the early part of this year. Really put pen to paper on what has already been decided. So, the next item is master services agreements. The board awarded master services agreements in response to the board's RFPs for engineering professional services. That was RFP 2025-04, and the official engineer consultant, which was RFP 2025-05. So I've been working with both Bill and Karen on getting those drafts and signed by our consultants, which then will come back to us and have ready for Chuck's signature. So there were several there. We've gotten most of those done. I believe I owe extension letters to Karen on several, but we've got those in process. Capital safety also, that was awarded via RFP 2025-06. That's a draft that Once approved, will go to the consultant, signed by them, come back and be presented for general signature. And the board is already approved of these awards in December of 2025 and also authorized our chairman to sign. So no board action, just more of an update on prior business. Easement status, yes, Bill and I have been busy on this front as well. Rise Midtown apartment with 563 New Scotland. This actually developed with Corporation Council as well, and they recommended to the city to swap from an easement to a license agreement. And I just need to follow up with Corporation Council to see where that landed, if we've got finalized versions of that. The way in which this project has, the as-built have come to be is that the as-built shows that it encroaches upon both City of Albany property and also water board infrastructure. So it would be an agreement via, it would be a license agreement more than likely rather than an easement. And that would have signatories of the developer, water board, and then City of Albany. So it's more of an update than an action item. National Grid Mill Road, those easements were completed and recorded. Part of that project, Eastern Gas was also a part of that. We had issued a temporary work agreement for them to get started. This easement is ready for Chuck's signature as well this afternoon. So that's my third item. Fourth item, I had a call with SUNY Council a couple of weeks ago. They explained their process to me. This is in regard to Albany Sand, right? They explained their process to me such that for work that's done on Albany property, which is in this case leased by New York Creates, right? Yeah, that's right. I'm getting their name. New York Creates. For work that's going to be done on that leased portion, we require actually a temporary permit from SUNY first. And then when the project is complete and we submit as-built, that's when there'll be a recommendation to OGS. Yes.
Well, we have a water main that was to serve Sandwich Way,
Yeah.
and we
They were holding off because of another issue with Albany.
Right.
is when they did that flyover bridge thing at New York Creates, SUNY Polytech, SUNY Nanotech. And DOT took some land that was Washington Avenue. And we had transmission main on it. And afterwards, that went to SUNY Albany. Or to the people in the state of New York or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we needed, then we were, the Sandwich Way, it used to be that was Laughlin Street. And Laughlin Street was served off the SUNY Albany system. But when the developer wanted to build those 7 apartments, Albany and OGS said, no, we won't allow that. And that's how the developer ended up paying for a water main to be brought from Washington Avenue over this Sandwich Way. And that all had permits with, the permits at the time, and all that was really left was to formalize easements. Sometimes it's been, we've had some success with, like our Pearman campus with OGS and easements, but with Albany, we.
Yeah, there seems to be, well, in any case, I will follow up with SUNY Council on the status of that, because we also discussed a sewer main.
We also have
Yeah.
we a separate thing at the New York Creates location of Tricentennial, which is the entrance. They just are completing a parking garage. And the parking garage was built right next to where Gilderland's force main ties into our system at a manhole. And so New York Creates is their design build contract for doing the parking lot is supposed to be relocating and building its force main. So that involves some new manholes and some new piping at that location, which has proposed easements. And now the question is, who grants an easement? We've got Fuller Road Management,
Right.
you've got New York Creates,
You, Albany.
lands that are the, lands of the, so.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so
Uh,
to be determined, I suppose. And then one of the last items that I have is 165 Orange Street. This is, the board remembers, this is the Habitat for Humanity project on Orange Street. It's the conclusion of our work with them. 167 Orange Street through 185 Orange Street. I was calling the Orange Street 10. Those were easements that we had been granted from Habitat for Humanity to us, and those have been recorded already. And so now it's just closing on the acquisition of 165 Orange Street. We are projected to close on January 30th for that. We've checked in with title. Past resolutions of the board will suffice for title purposes and for my purposes. So again, no real action item for the board, but just an update.
Are you gonna need a check from Chris?
Yes, but we need to get Chris our closing statement first so that he knows what that check is. So, I'll talk with Chris about lead time for that, and
Yes.
Council for Habitat for Humanity has been great to work with, so if we need a little bit more time. You don't need to. I figured setting a tentative date is probably good for something like this, get everyone thinking about a date.
Now, did I overhear that you need an executive session?
Yes,
You wanna do that now?
it's up to the board, because we could do that now. I know we have resolutions to get through too, so maybe that makes sense to do it now and then come back on. Okay.
Change. It's
So
going,
you'll just need,
or just going a little out of order.
Yeah,
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 it's
it's
a
not
lot of
bad.
order, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
suits the
we're
board.
always out of order.
Now you tell me.
Chairman, totally out of order.
Now you tell me.
Now I can argue. I lied to you, Mike.
We turn us off, we just need a motion to do that.
Yes.
So you ask for a motion.
I'd like for a motion to move into executive session.
And then for the.
Motion.
Oh, for
I'll
the
second.
purposes of,
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
for the purposes of discussing proposed litigation. Thank you.
We're in executive session. When you're turned on, I'll. Is it okay?
Still waiting.
Tick, 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 tick.
Just says. There we go.
Okay.
And I may need to leave in a little bit because I'm supposed to go.
Goodbye.
Stand with the mayor and DGS about the snow.
All right. You'll be in the back of the picture. You'll be
I will
standing
be,
there, yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Gotta do what you gotta do.
Thanks, Bill, for everything.
And then.
Good job today, Bill.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll say it for the record,
Thank
we've
you.
now come out of executive session. We took no action. Steve, you're up. Thanks for everything, Bill.
Good
Hang
job.
in there.
Good job.
Wow. All right.
Thanks, Karen. Mike, you're gonna see a lot here. This is
So-
all new.
Yeah, Mike, so marketing communications, right? So I'm really the one that's out there and kind of really gets.
What's Facebook and Instagram? I don't know what that. I'm kidding.
You had me. So I'm out there on the street, really kind of getting a good temperature of what we're saying. We're helping to add a lot of transparency to the things that we're doing. And it helps really kind of quell down a lot of negative talk about, whenever there's a water main break or whatever, like case in point from when Chuck had the issue last Saturday. I was able to work with a common council person and we helped move a lot of cars and get them out of the way. And the people that were in the neighborhood were really appreciative of that. And over the last 3 years, I've been able to really create a good groundswell of community support. So much so that on social media, when we're posting things out there and there is a hateful comment or a negative comment, that the community itself is really starting to defend us as a department. And that's really, to me, has been, I'm so happy that we're at that point right now. So these are just some of the numbers that we have. So these are December's numbers. We posted it 32 times. We got about 96 shares, and we're 120% more than the average of the other departments across the city. We had 70,000 views. That's up 372% from the previous month. November was a pretty slow month for us. We reached about 40,000 people. 63 interactions. So that's like likes and hearts and all that other good stuff. We had 48 followers add to our 2,300 plus that we're at right now, and 2,600 visits to our different social media sites. And then these are also the same types of numbers for Instagram. Facebook has the largest number of followers that we have, but the Instagram account is the one that's probably the fastest growing because I think that platform itself is a faster growing platform. So we share here, just our top posts or the water main breaks right now. We call it silly season. It's the biggest one top of mind. When people are out of water, they get, a little bit of agita. The post of note. So with the lead service lines, these communications that Rebecca and Thomas are receiving from the public are result from these postcards that went out to let people know if you got a blue card or a pink card, and they represented whether or not you were a known lead line or if you were unknown lead line. And so we have a website. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Mike, are you taking minutes?
No, just taking notes.
Oh, no, okay. Because
Yeah.
Karen does the minutes.
Oh, I'm not gonna do minutes.
Okay.
I'm just taking notes.
Secretary.
No,
taking-
I'm just taking notes.
Good.
I like
Sorry
taking
for the
notes.
interrupt.
No, that's fine.
I'm really good at notes.
So we had some good play about that post and we were able to really pump that out. And just got some good information out there. So people were not shell shocked really so much when they got those cards in the mail, because they are a little stark warning. And so we do want to call to action to them because it's an important public health issue. Lots of website updates, lead website revamp. We're continuously always updating that. Lead service map on the front page of that is really, the GIS team has got a great site, which then they can just plug and play all that information automatically updates our website. It's a little less on my end, thankfully, so that we can always keep that up to date and as real time as possible. And the fluoride website's been created. We update that whenever the project itself starts to update for you know, whatever we've got going on for the one, it's like every 2 weeks, I think, Rebecca, we get that. 2, 3, yeah, ish, you know, somewhere in there. And then, so here's a look ahead. So, emergency crisis communications. So, the emergency communications playbook, basically, it's something that I'm a one-man band, doing all this. And so I created an app, a mobile app that, can really scale the communication very quickly to get to 27 different points of interest. These are common council people, these are the mayor's office, these are the news people internally here, and other points of interest, you know, externally, commissioners of other departments and so on. And then that also, I'm able to use some AI to then create a social media post, and I can push all of this from one app that I created, and this workflow that really has streamlined this communication out. So it's really fast, because we need to make sure that we are getting all of this information out to the public as quickly as possible. We then need to make sure that we are on top of it as quickly as we can. So if we know that, oh, it's going to be 10 houses out, oh geez, no, we're chasing this thing down the street. Now it's going to be 30, 40. Now we got a whole neighborhood out. We got to go quick, and we got to make sure that we get that information out. I've set this whole thing up to be basically ward driven. So we are using the common council people to be the one point person of this app, so that we can then, that's how we kind of locate that. So it's the common council person is the one that is kind of on the ground. It's a touch point for them to reach out to their constituents. We've also included the neighborhood community services group and cross-referenced those along with all of the other, so with the common council, and there's some crossover between those groups as well. And then obviously the mayor's office, chief of staff, deputy mayor, and everybody else is on this. So we want to make sure that everybody is just really in the know when this happens, because everybody's going to get a call. Somebody gets a call, somebody won't even get a call. You never know, but we want to make sure that we just have got full coverage across the city, so that we can make sure that if there's any questions, that we are open and transparent. So yes,
Do you have the neighborhood association?
I do. Yes, they're also in there as well. Yeah.
They're in there.
Yep. Their emails, and then when the social media post gets created, when I click that button, I've pre-populated all of the neighborhood associations Facebook pages, so then those automatically get pushed into the social post. I create the social post, edit it down, throw in the graphic, and then I push that all out. So then they're tagged in that post as well.
Right. That's a really good thing, because the common council member does not always talk to the neighborhood association.
Yeah.
I'm on the Melrose neighborhood board,
Okay.
and I mean, we do talk, but not all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw how this worked last Saturday. Steve sent out the word to the common council person and to the neighborhood association. And in 15 minutes, they had 5 people out on the street moving cars.
Yeah.
To get them out of the way. It was amazing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It's working very well, like better than I was expecting, to be honest. And I'm just really happy that we've got a lot of new common council members this round, and they're really eager to roll their sleeves up and get dirty with their community. And it's been working out really, really well. So regulatory and risk communications, just lead service line communications across the city, and then obviously community engagement. So I'm going to be having a community events calendar that's going to be posted on our website, and create an ambassador program. There's people out there that I've kind of gotten to know that are really in love with our water in kind of a fandom way. I've been fortunate to meet them, and I love it. And so we want to kind of like create this program around them to help them kind of help press the word out there for everybody. So Lincoln Garden, that's the Lincoln Park Garden that's going to be coming online. There's a video that was done by Alex Ashby. She's one of our forestry people, that was done a few years ago. We've taken that video, we've created an education model, surrounded that, and then we can pair that with what's happening in that learning garden. In that, we have got pre-play packets that schools can then go to our website, download that information, and they have a full day curriculum that they can then use to then, you know, prep their students before they go through the learning garden. And then they can see kind of how that piece works. We use the video as just kind of a piece of that whole thing, but then we have them walk through. We're gonna have them walk through that learning garden. There's a pre education component, and then a current education component, and then there's a post education component, kind of a review for them to go through. So we're, once, Lincoln Park Learning Garden is online, we'll make sure all of this is live. Reach out to our neighborhood schools that we've got. Toast is right there, obviously, in Hackett. But anybody who wants to come, we want to promote this up and then make sure that as many schools can kind of enjoy this really great park that's gonna come through. Obviously, the newsletter and then the Proud program. Newsletter is an internal piece that we do here. And then the Proud program I had started when I first got here was a way for us to just really kind of expand our social media reach. And it's just going to local businesses that use our water. So bakeries and restaurants and bars and pretty much anybody, because everybody uses it. And we just say, hey, can we just put this little sticker on your door? And then we just do a cross social media post. So we've got about 30 people right now. I got to get back out on the street when the weather gets nice and then start to continue to expand that program. So that's me in a nutshell. Any questions? You're welcome. Yes.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I reached out to my landlord, but like, how do I make sure my landlord is good, like? Because it's up to my landlord to fix the pipe, right?
It is correct.
Like this, how do I know that he has fixed it or not, if we fixed it?
So the ratepayers have also received this information. And so the only way I can suggest would be to follow up with your landlord, but in the meantime, yeah, but I would suggest making sure that you have, a water filter in your apartment, to just make sure that you're safe for, for any of your drinking water. Continue to work with your landlord, let them know, hey, this is this is a public health issue. I would really like these things replaced. You could work with the rest of the tenants that are in the building to really kind of put pressure on them to help with that. We eventually will start to make our way around the city and get there, but if we want to try to get there sooner, there are grant programs available that we can provide, that you can provide that information to them so they can kind of help. Not knowing the size of your apartment or just so.
So we'll get follow-up card, like we'll get another card.
Yeah, every year those are gonna go up.
Every year,
Mhm.
Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's no requirement for the owner to actually switch that out currently by the law. The cards are going, and the reason they go to the tenant is so that the tenant is aware of what their service is. So that they can take the precautions necessary to protect them and their family inside. Hopefully the landlords get a hold of this and see that it is that and push from the tenants, hopefully make them start switching, but we do have the incentives for them to change it, but it's not a requirement for you to do it right now. It's more just for notifying the residents of their service.
Thanks, Justin. Yeah.
So you get one every year until, hopefully it's a blue card one.
But then it'll be a blue card, yeah.
And then you'll get a blue card every year, which is a public notification.
Yeah.
Just how was your wrist?
Oh, thanks. It's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, thanks. Sure. All right. Thanks, everyone.
All right, let's go on. Laura, you want to do the resolutions?
Sure. Right, that's our meeting.
I used to read, Mike, I used to read the resolution and then they'd slip changes in at the last minute. And stuff, so now, Laura who writes the resolution.
Good move.
And
Good
they're
move.
getting shorter.
Good move for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, right. Resolution number 2601, resolution for election of officers and committee assignments for 2026. Now therefore be it resolved that the Albany Water Board is adopting the recommendations of the Governance Committee to elect the following officers and make committee assignments to the Albany Water Board for calendar year 2026. The officer positions and committee assignments are set forth in the resolution. I can certainly read that if folks want me to. No.
Marty?
I was just noting that the officer positions and the committee assignments are set forth in the resolution, and if you'd
Right.
like me to read them, I can, but otherwise they're right there. Okay,
Oh, that's it.
okay.
Can I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Resolution number 2602, resolution adopting amendment to senior discount program. Now therefore be it resolved that the Albany Water Board hereby amends the senior discount program as set forth in Appendix A. We touched based on this during our governance committee meeting, and there was a recommendation from the governance committee to adopt this.
I have a motion to approve. Second?
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution number 2603, resolution adopting amendments to the 2026 summary budget and transfer document. Now therefore be it resolved, the water board hereby adopts the amended 2026 summary budget and transfer document prepared by UHY advisors annexed here to as appendix A. We had discussion on this as well during finance.
I'd like to amend this motion that we also thank Bill Kahn for
Yes.
doing this
Yeah,
job.
thank you.
Very well done. May I have a motion to approve?
Someone.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Resolution number 2604, resolution authorizing designated representatives of the Albany Water Board to the Albany County Stormwater Coalition. Now therefore be it resolved that the Albany Water Board authorizes Peter Beck, Stormwater Coordinator of the Department of Water and Water Supply, and William Simcoe, the Commissioner of the Department of Water and Water Supply, to be the designated representatives of the Albany Water Board to the Albany County Stormwater Coalition Board of Directors.
I want to add something. Mike, you weren't here, but a year or so ago, Peter Beck came and gave a presentation on what he was doing, and I think we ought to get him back. Very impressive. May I have a motion to approve? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Resolution number 2605, adopting negative declaration under State Environmental Quality Review Act secret concerning the Academy Road Constructed Wetlands Project. Now therefore be it resolved as follows. The Albany Water Board hereby adopts parts 1, 2, and 3 of the FEAF, including all attachments thereto, annexed as Appendix A. Authorizes the acting commissioner of the City of Albany Department of Water and Water Supply to execute parts 1, 2, and 3 of the FEAF. Adopts a negative declaration for the project, determining that the project does not have a significant adverse impact on the environment. And authorizes and directs the publication of a notice in the environmental notice bulletin relative to this project and in accordance with this resolution. In this resolution, I recited the history of this project and its seeker review. And I just wanted to know, I know Commissioner Simcoe had noted it during his update. We just received back a note from the State Historic Preservation Office SHPO consultation in December that said that they didn't have any further comments or issues with the project. That was sort of the last bit before we could close out review of the amended scope. So
I have to say, this whole thing got the blue ribbon for most interesting read.
Oh.
Of all the stuff you sent.
yes.
All right, may I have a motion to approve? So moved. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Resolution number 2606, resolution awarding lead service replacement winter 2026 to Newcastle Paving LLC. In the amount of $2,236,080. Now therefore be it resolved that the Albany Water Board hereby awards the lead service replacement winter 2026 contract to the lowest responsible bidder, Newcastle Paving LLC, for a contract amount equal to the bid of $2,236,080, and hereby authorizes the chairman to execute all necessary documents to enter into the contract with Newcastle Paving LLC.
Again, I'd like to thank Rebecca very much for all that. A lot of work.
Yeah.
Can I have a motion to approve? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Resolution number 2607, resolution approving change order LFG 05 to Bureau Bush WFP's line and maintenance building general with AMZ Construction Services Inc. to increase the contract amount by $20,716.81. Now therefore be it resolved that the Albany Water Board approves change order LMG 05 as here to as Appendix A to Bureau Bush WFP line and maintenance building general contract with AMZ Construction Services Inc., increasing the contract amount by $20,716.81. The new contract amount is $1,302,266.79. There is no change to the original contract completion date of January 17th, 2026.
Again, Rebecca, thank you for the change order.
Mhm.
It made it all pretty clear why we needed to do this. So can I have a motion to approve? Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. That's it. Thank you. Do we have any other? On the board or anything you want? I should announce that the next regular meeting of the board will be February 27th at 9 o'clock. There will also be a governance committee meeting at 8:30. So having said that, thank you all for a long meeting, but very good one. I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second,
favor?
bye.
Well done.
Pleasure meeting you.
Oh, you
See
too.
you next month, hopefully.
It's really, that's dedication. Get out of here.